forgive me if I'm regurgitating information, but I'd like to tell you firsthand. I'm going to tell you what they already know. There is a group of people who know who I am, know what I believe in, know what I stand for. And I am extremely loyal. I am extremely loyal to all of those people. But I also know that you can't please everybody. There's going to be some people that walk into a building, buy a ticket, and want to tell me to go to hell. That is what makes the WWE energy that you are talking about. It is that simple. They can do what they want.
Now, you can do what you want, and they will allow you to. What you're doing is you're not caring it. You know what's happened? I'll tell you exactly what's happened. You ain't gonna like it either. You are the face of the WWE. You are the man. And the booing is getting louder and louder
I can hear it right
and
now.
louder. And you're losing it. You're losing it. You are losing it. You know what's going to happen? If you don't suck it up and start telling these people exactly what you think, because this ain't Mick Foley's have a nice day stuff. This is Roddy's reality check. And if you don't tell them what you're thinking about them, you will be the loser of the biggest WrestleMania in history.
You know what? You're going a little overboard.
I know this. I came a long way to have you in Piper's Pit. And I'll tell you why. I know your whole career. I've watched the damn thing. I'm proud of you. It was my generation that passed the torch to you, and you rose the bar higher than we could ever think about it. I know that. Hang on. And I know The Rock comes one day. Yippee. Meanwhile, every day, John Cena is stepping up to the plate. Every day, John Cena is taking on all comers. Every day, John Cena is saying hi to our armed forces. Every day, hi to the little kids. Every day. How much energy can you tap into? Because I'll tell you something. I've seen it all, and I've done it all, and I have the jewelry to prove it. From a Hall of Famer to a future Hall of Famer. If you don't get this off your chest and get it right with these folks, Nush, you will be in denial, and it's going to kill your chances for everything you want to do.
With all due respect, this is a fine gesture, but I'm in a good place. You don't know what you're talking about.
You're in a good place? I'm going to help you win. Feel the energy! Do you feel the energy? If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
The Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey, holy yeah.
And now, here's your host of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Really? Yeah!
Hello and welcome to an abbreviated edition of Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you, taking you to 1 o'clock. A 40-minute edition courtesy of the high school championships. Of course, the Group 1 won by Asbury Park over Florence. Wasn't sure how that was exactly going to go, but we still had plenty of time to talk to you out there about a bunch of different topics. Of course, as you heard there, Piper's Pit from this past Monday. Your thoughts on the acknowledgement by WWE of the boos that we've been hearing for quite a while, to say the least. Definitely gotten more than our share of it. And it's good to see WWE acknowledging it. I like the direction they're taking as far as potentially turning Cena heel, and there are a number of ways that they can do it. The question is, will they pull the trigger on it? Will they make that happen? Only time will tell with that. We also, of course, can talk about, we've got Final Resolution coming up in a week from tomorrow. So we've got 3 matches set on the card. The rest of them, they'll be set up this coming week. And also some interesting news and notes, including an interesting T-shirt that WWE released and has since pulled back due to some unintended imagery, or maybe it was some intended imagery and somebody just let the joke go too far. Hard to say, but we'll talk a little bit about that. And it looks like the Monday Night Delight, no more. John Morrison addressing his status from this past Monday's Raw via his Twitter page. He says, I'll post more about the future next week. Right now, I'm planning on tearing the house down at Raw tomorrow in Columbia, South Carolina. After that Raw this past Monday, Morrison hasn't been advertised for any appearances. And the day after, Morrison posted, quote, humble pie tastes like crap. I guess after being beat up by The Miz this past Monday on Raw. And this past Thursday, WWE removed John Morrison from the online roster page and moved him over to the alumni section. So it looks like no more of Morrison for a little bit. Will he be sitting out a 90-day non-compete clause and then moving to TNA? Well, he'll discuss his future, I guess, sometime in this upcoming week. Also, Matt Hardy was released from jail this past Monday following a pre-trial court hearing in Carthage, North Carolina. Hardy was ordered to complete his rehabilitation program as part of that release from jail. The fact that he had to complete it before, and that's what had him sent to jail, I don't know, I guess he's getting a mulligan on it, but his bond was lowered from $1 million to $100,000, done over the state's objection, according to the district attorney. If Hardy fails to complete rehab, his bond will increase to $250,000. Again, you can only hope that Matt Hardy gets well. Although, speaking of people looking to get well, dealing with personal demons and whatnot, we had a Scott Hall sighting. He posted a Last Call with Scott Hall video, kind of reminiscing a little bit. He and some buddies were playing the old WrestleMania the arcade game, which was kind of like WWE meets Mortal Kombat, if you remember that from back in the mid-'90s, and kind of commenting on some matches that his friends were playing between Razor and Shawn, Razor and Bret Hart, and, of course, Razor Ramon against Razor Ramon in a mirror match. Some interesting stuff for video game nerds like myself out there, kind of a bit of a nostalgic flashback to some 15, 16 years ago. Some other news for the WWE. They purchased the domain name for iwantwwenetwork.com. Currently goes to the WWE website, but it looks like they're going to use that site to garner leverage with the cable and satellite providers, trying to get more of an interest in the upcoming WWE network that it looks like they're still trying to set as a launch for around WrestleMania, right around April 1st, but I don't know. It's hard to say if they'll get everything together by that point. Will they have all the programming that they need? I mean, even if they just show things like old pay-per-views, I'm sure that'll get them going for a little while. But will they have a structure? Will they have a format? What would you like to see on the WWE Network? That's certainly a question that can be asked. And in some not-so-good news, former WWE creative team member Patrice O'Neal passed away this past Monday night at the age of 41. He suffered a stroke back in October. Was briefly a member of the creative team for WWE and better known as a stand-up comedian, and was also a semi-regular on Opie and Anthony. I'm sure you remember that radio show as well. Anyway, we can certainly take your calls and thoughts, 215-949-3232, or toll-free at 888-922-2149. Bit of an interesting day. I know a lot of people are down at the Ramada Airport. K&S WrestleFest, of course, was going on this morning. Roddy Piper was there. Sergeant Slaughter, the Nasty Boys, among a bunch of others. Certainly keeping people involved, to say the least. For those who missed it last week, the John Morrison saga kind of continuing, courtesy of Zack Ryder's online, his YouTube program, Long Island Iced Z, where John Morrison got into a white limousine, and next thing you know, the footage from when the white limo containing Vince McMahon exploding kind of showed up, I guess, kind of symbolizing the death of John Morrison's WWE career, as it looks like he is moving on to other ventures. Certainly an interesting bit there. Anyway, let's go ahead and take care of a little bit of business. We'll come back. Can certainly get your calls. Also, looking for some Facebook feedback. Got some positive reaction to a couple of days ago. It's Today in Wrestling History from 2003. Of course, that six-man tag of Goldberg, Shawn Michaels, and Rob Van Dam against Kane, Randy Orton, and Batista. What a difference 8 years makes, huh? Rather interesting. And, of course, we've got some Today in Wrestling History a little bit later as well. Got 2 breaks set, a couple of small breaks, a couple of small timeouts, kind of allow me to get my head together here, as this was, well, kind of unexpected how everything was going to go with the football. But we're here today nonetheless, and certainly ready to get your thoughts on everything from Piper's Pit to TNA Impact to the upcoming pay-per-views of Final Resolution and TLC and a whole bunch more. Again, the number's 215-949-3232 or toll free at 888-922-2149. Those are the ways to get a hold of us here on 1490 WBCB. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly, also online at WBCB1490.com.